welcome everybody to a sort of I would say, not a very normal video on my channel. I am doing a live stream at home, so please forgive me if there's anything wrong with the setup. Let me know if you can hear me, if the picture's good. Is everything all right? All good? Let's see. Everything good, guys? Please let me know. Leave me a comment if you can hear me and see me and all that stuff. Okay, I guess that means you guys can see me and hear me. That's fantastic. I would like to introduce you to the newest member of my family, over here. Oh, can you lift her up for the camera?
Oh, don't cry. Oh, don't cry.
Oh, she's a bit fussy. She's just woken up. Say hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
This is my daughter. I wanted to introduce everybody to her. I'm incredibly proud and happy, and she's healthy and she's great. Everything's fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, I got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to get started. Sasha's going to be weighing in on this video as well, but I'm going to start out by just explaining to you, because I'm sure a lot of you have the question, you know, where is it that I live at the moment, and what's the deal? Because there's a lot of mixed, confusing things going on out there, like, do I still live in China? Do I live in the USA? What's going on? Well, it's very easy to explain. Seamilk and I, about a year back, decided that we would start a company. Okay, we're going to start ADV Media, which is, of course, for ADV China and ADV podcasts and everything that we do together. And we realized that it would be foolish for us to base ourselves out of China for various reasons. I mean, when we travel around and we film things, it can be risky. We had some very close calls in Inner Mongolia with both the police and the PLA. And we had a SWAT team come and bust into our hotel room and, you know, search all our stuff, and, you know, it was a big thing. There's a proper story behind all of that, if you've heard it before. If not, I'll be telling it with Seamilk together sometime in the future more clearly. But we realized at that point that us basing ourselves in China for what we do is not a very safe idea, because if we have all of our footage there, if we run our videos from there, we can get raided and shut down at any point if they just don't like what we do. So we went to a different thing. Sorry, yeah, there's something about this light. Let me try and turn it down if it's possible. Give me a second. It is blinding me here. I was trying to set up better lighting. Let's see if that works. Hopefully that's better. Sorry about this weird lighting. Anyway. We decided that we'd set up our base in the US, because at least we can be protected by rule of law there. We won't have a situation where the police will simply come and knock down our door and make us disappear if they don't like the videos we put on YouTube. So how it works is, I don't live in the US full time. I'm back and forth. So I'm based here. I've moved my wife to live here, and of course every couple of months I'm flying out with Seamilk, and we go to Taiwan or Vietnam or Hong Kong, or, you know, we've got South Korea, India, all those places on the list, and we're constantly flying around doing different things and trying out different, you know, projects. For instance, the car project thing, Worthless Whips, that we've just started. So we're constantly back and forth. So for those people who are like, are you in China or are you in America? The answer to that question is both. So we'll be in the US for like a month, and then we'll be in Taiwan for a month, then we'll be, you know, on the way back from Taiwan, we'll be in Hong Kong, you know, and then we'll be in Vietnam or whatever. So we're all over the place. But the fact of the matter is, we decided that having a proper solid base in the US would be the best thing. So it's been almost a year now that we've been doing this, and Sasha has been here for about a year or two, and she fell pregnant while she was here. much to our surprise, because we didn't expect it, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know,
Quite surprised.
yeah, it was a big surprise, because she had some surgery previously, and we thought it wouldn't be possible for her to have a baby, and so it was a massively pleasant surprise for the both of us. So, you know, super excited about it. And you know, because of the previous surgery, though, there were some complications. She did have to have a last minute C-section, which, you know, we didn't want that. We wanted a natural birth, but it was too dangerous, and the doctors advised we needed to get the C-section immediately. So it was an emergency C-section, and it was a whole big thing. It was quite a harrowing experience, but both mom and baby are super healthy, and I couldn't be happier. I could use a lot more sleep, though. We both can. So that's kind of the story of how our daughter came about. You know, definitely not planned. And there've been a oh, Shin.
Oh.
She needs a little bit of attention. Anyway, there's been a lot of questions like why did we decide to have our child here rather than in China or South Africa? Well, quite simply because this is where we're based at the moment. You know, it doesn't make sense to put a very pregnant woman on a plane and fly halfway across the world to have a baby in a country that you're not living in. You know, it doesn't make any sense at all. So I hope that answers the question for everyone why we chose to have a baby here. There's no ulterior motive behind it. It's just simply that's where we were. So she's happy and healthy, and I'm over the moon about it all. So anyway, I think we should go for the topic of this video, and I am going to get Sasha to weigh in later. And that is the difference between living in the States compared to living in China. So now that we both have a fair amount of experience, having lived here for at least me on and off a few months here and there and back again. And I've got a list that just came to mind like a few minutes before this video, to be honest. The one thing, first thing that I miss about, well, first thing I like about the States is the friendliness and courtesy that people extend to each other here. You know, there's a very strange phenomenon here in America, and that is that people tend to think that America is worse than it really is. And Americans complain a lot about, oh, America's got so many problems and so much racism and discrimination and this and that, you know, because everybody likes to complain about things, right? The fact of the matter is, from my own personal experience, they need to all shut the hell up, because that's actually not the case. I mean, I get why people are on about that kind of thing, and it's just indicative of a society that's very open to solving problems. So I understand where it comes from. But having traveled across America, the whole, from west to east and back again in 2016, and now since I've been here, I've been going around doing things with CMIL, going to different states and things. I must say that I have very seldom come across a situation where anyone's ever been rude to me. In fact, only once. She was with me. It was a valet parking guy who wanted to have an argument with me because I think he was having a bad day. That's it. But otherwise, it doesn't matter who you talk to. Doesn't matter their background. Doesn't matter if they're Mexican or black or Chinese or whatever it is. People treat each other with courtesy and are very polite here. And that's something you really, really miss when you're in China. You know, the kind of thing that people hold the door open for you when you're walking into the gas station. The cashier is being polite and asking you how your day is. Things like that. Just very basic stuff. You know, neighbors saying howdy when you walk past. And just in general, this level of politeness in society, which you do not find in China. So for me, that's probably one of the biggest things that hit me first. How about you? What's something that you found very different about America? It could be positive or negative, whatever you like.
I have mentioned that in my Who Knows video.
Yeah.
So I hope you don't mind I mention again.
Sure.
For sure, the first thing, huge different thing is that people here much more less.
Sure, not as many people, yeah.
Yeah, so everywhere is quiet. Sometimes even if it's too quiet, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the biggest difference. I
Okay,
think.
so the biggest difference is, not that many people.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Right.
Because for the good part, I really enjoyed when I go to the supermarket or drive on the street. That part I super enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But the bad part is like I couldn't walk on the street at nighttime by myself.
Right.
Because no people walk on the street and there's no light.
Yeah.
So feels like quite dangerous. Even I know it's a safe, but still don't want to try to do it by myself.
That's right. And actually, we have an announcement to make. Sasha today passed her driver's license. So she now has a California driver's license.
Yay.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I'm very proud of her. She's been a very good student. I've been teaching her how to drive, and she passed the written test first time. And she's just this morning passed the behind the wheel test. And, while she's still recovering from childbirth. So I'm incredibly proud of her. Really.
And even I have a Chinese driver license in China, but I really never drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's quite common actually. A lot of my Chinese friends would get their licenses. They'd study, they do all the legit stuff, and they get it like she did. But then they don't have a car, and they don't get a car, so they kind of just, I don't know, allow their driver's license skill, their driving skills to just disappear, basically. Fantastic. All right, I wanted to talk about the next thing that really hit me about living in America compared to China, and that is the lack of discrimination. Now, this might sound a little weird, especially to those hardcore Americans who keep complaining about how much discrimination is happening in America. Because again, I'm calling a bunch of BS on that. I'm not calling BS on the fact that discrimination exists, by the way. Of course it does. But the fact that it's recognized and talked about is the good thing about America. Because in China it's not talked about, but it's everywhere. As a foreigner, you are discriminated against every single day living in China. When you get into a taxi, if you're in a city like Guangzhou, for instance, you hop in the taxi, the first thing they do is they try to cheat you. They try to tell you an upfront price and don't put the meter down. They will very often in shops give you a foreign price, try to give you like an inflated price of 500% or more, depending. When you go to do anything in the government, even open a bank account or anything, it's a massively different process for foreigners than it is for local people. And I found, because of course we're both foreigners here in the USA, I find that we're treated as if we're citizens in every way, shape or form. The way that people interact with us is not any different than they do with local people. And that's something that, again, is incredibly heartwarming. How can I say? Thanks. Simon just gave you a congratulations. Thanks, man. We'll get to some super chats soon, but I just wanted to say it's incredibly heartwarming that, for instance, there are no barriers in my way when it comes to doing everyday things. As long as I'm legal, my visa's legit, all of this stuff is, all my ducks are in a row, I'm paying tax, everything's correct. I have no barriers. I can open a bank account. I can get a credit card. I can get a driver's license. I can get a real ID. I can do everything that a citizen can do except for vote. Although strangely enough, I received a summons for jury duty the other day. And I was very confused by that. And then I found out that because I'm not a citizen, I couldn't go. I was quite disappointed. I really wanted to go, but I had to write back and send information to say I'm not a citizen, I'm a South African citizen. So they, excused me from jury duty, which is such a pity. I would have loved that. That would have made a great video. Although I don't think you're allowed to talk about it. Anyway, the lack of discrimination is fantastic. If I want to buy a plane ticket, if I want to buy a train ticket, I don't need to go to a special queue. Opening a bank account, like I said, I could just walk in there. I'm treated with the same courtesy as everybody else. And so is she. And even this morning when we went for the driver's license test, the 3 people that were before her were all young Asian females, strangely enough. And it's just the way it is. People are, get along. There's no what's going on here? That, oh, Chinese person must be treated differently. So for me, that was like a huge thing. Having lived for so long and always being on my guard because people are trying to rip me off or treat me differently, and sometimes in a good way, which can be very frustrating as well, giving you way too much attention if you're at a bar or at a restaurant and they want to come take photos with you and etc etc. Here you can just be yourself, be a normal person and get along with society, and it's fantastic. Do you have anything else? What's your next thing?
What my next thing?
Yeah.
I mean the biggest difference, huh?
Hmm?
The difference between.
Sure.
Let me think. For me, maybe like a food or. Let me think. Sorry, my brain didn't work too well
That's fine.
after the pregnancy and the baby birth.
Yeah, can you show them all our cute baby again? Some people are asking to see. So I think is she half asleep still? I'm actually glad you mentioned food, because that is something I'm sure everybody's noticed. I've put on a lot of weight. I promise next year I'm gonna lose it. This happens to me a lot in my life. I very quickly gain weight, but I can also lose it very quickly. So we'll see.
Believe.
Oh, trust me.
I hope we can have a bet in front of the camera this time.
yeah, we will. We'll do that. The food here is fantastic, and I'll tell you why. It's not necessarily that American food is better than Chinese food. It's the fact that you can access different kinds of food here in America, and good different kinds of food. You see, in China, Chinese food is fantastic. Okay, Chinese food is one of the most diverse and interesting cuisines in the world, and anyone who's lived in China or anyone who really is into the whole Asian thing will know that. You know, you can go to different provinces and they've got different types of food, and it's fantastic, rich history, all that. But if you want to eat a different type of food in China, let's say for instance you want I don't know, Indian food or Italian food or Vietnamese food or any other kind of food, you're out of luck, because when you do find, let's say, a Mexican restaurant in China, it's crap. It's very crap, and if it's even halfway decent, it's incredibly expensive. Whereas here in America, it doesn't matter what kind of food you go for, and I'm talking about what kind of different cuisine from different countries, Japanese, Chinese, whatever. You pay kind of the same, depending. So you can get away with $20-30 or whatever at any restaurant and still have a decent meal. Whereas in China, the price difference between Chinese food and some kind of foreign food is astronomically different. And of course, the quality of foreign food is really bad in China, from my own personal experience. And they just don't do a good job because they don't really know what it is. And in China, they've actually got they call it xizan, which just means Western food. You can go to a place that does xizan, and it's just random what they think Western food is. So from a food perspective, I'm so happy that I have access to different cuisines from different countries, and it's all top notch, because the thing about America is usually the people that run those restaurants are from that country. So if you go to an Indian restaurant, it's run by Indian people. A Vietnamese restaurant is run by Vietnamese. Chinese restaurant is run by Chinese. So you get the authentic stuff. So food was a massive thing for me. How's your brain doing? Have you thought about another thing?
No, when you mention food, I just want to say the different. I mean, I don't mean like the American food is not good. Just the taste, is different for me. But I'm sure the food quality, for the safety part, definitely here is better. Just the flavor is still. I didn't realize I have a Chinese stomach. We call 中国胃. I didn't realize I have that problem before, because I thought I kind of like a different kind of food.
Yeah.
But when I stay here for long enough, I do realize I do have a Chinese stomach.
Yeah.
So I miss the real Chinese food a lot, because the flavor, I used to have that more than 30 years. So
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're used to something, it's difficult to adapt to something new. And actually, for a lot of foreigners going to China, well, depending on the type of cuisine, it can be difficult to adjust. Cantonese food, for instance, takes a lot of adjustment. Okay, let's see. Again, part of the lack of discrimination is the lack of racism that I've noticed here in America, like I've just said. And it's not people might say, oh, you live in California and it's all about that, you know, but it's not true. Across the entire country, when I traveled, I noticed just how, and it's tough. I am making, it's really difficult for me to make this video because it's such a sensitive topic, but I'm making a video about how I experienced, for the first time in my life in America, a society that actually doesn't have true racism, if that makes sense. It'll make sense in the video. But what I'm trying to say is, people make out as if there's a lot of racism here, but it's actually not the case. I can vouch for that, coming from South Africa, living in South Africa for the most of my life up until 25, and then living in China for the rest of my life, which both of those countries are completely full of racism and discrimination and whatnot. So I know what the real stuff is compared to the sort of fake stuff here, if that makes sense, and I'll get to it. I've said lack of barriers. Oh yeah, the next one that really gets me is charity. This is something that I really, believe it or not, missed out on. And here in America, you see charity everywhere. I mean, it can be annoying, but you always see little things set up, little stalls where it's like, help the hungry children, or you've got the Salvation Army or whatever ringing their bells outside the supermarkets and stuff. And you know, you shop at a supermarket, and when you're checking out, they're like, would you like to contribute towards St. Jude's Hospital for Cancer for Kids, or would you like to buy a hunger bag for hungry children over the holiday season for $5 or whatever. And I think for a lot of people, they either take it for granted or they find it annoying, but not for someone who's lived for the last decade and more in China, because charity is not something that you see in China. It's not, and it's just because of the situation with the economy and the situation with society, how it's recently changed. Charity is not very high on the minds of people there. And if you've watched my video about Chinese society's worst problem, where people tend to not help other people in need right in front of them, you can understand why they wouldn't help people in need that they don't even know, you know. So for me, to see charity is something that honestly just gives me a happy feeling to be a human being, you know. It's a tough one to explain, but that was a big thing for me. How about you?
Well, about the charity, maybe I would just want to add a little bit. Like
Sure.
this day, of course, people still doing that, but more happen is between the people you know. Like for example, like maybe one of my friend, he will post like a WeChat moment, say like, oh, this is my colleague or my classmate's relative, and the person now have a cancer, yeah, please help, that kind of thing on the WeChat. So you can pay like how much you want.
Sure.
Can be 10 RMB, can be 100 RMB, like you can pay whatever you want. And that's because you know it's true. Yeah. And you know the real person can get the money. Yeah. So people would like to do. But the thing we hate to do is when your company or my hospital force us to donate some money for some place. Yeah. And like sometimes they will have the money limit, so you must pay how much, or sometimes they will just take the money from our salary account straight like that, so you don't have choice to say no. And at the end, you never know that money really go to the person's hand or not. So that's the thing, we hate to do that.
Honestly, there have been so many scandals. What was that, the Gourmet May or whatever her name was, for the Red Cross.
Oh, that's
it's a long time ago, but that kind of thing gets stuck in people's minds. Like the Red Cross in China, there was a big scandal that somebody that was dating, or no, she said she worked for the Red Cross, and she was posing with Maseratis and huge stacks of cash and expensive LV bags and stuff, and all that money came from Red Cross donations, and it was just kind of embezzled and so on. So people don't trust charities in China, but like she said, and this is something you'll notice about Chinese society, is people care about their families very much and their close friends, but if it's a stranger, it's very tough to find someone that will care for a stranger in China. This is from my own experience and what I've seen. Anyway, so charity was another big thing when I came to the States that really changed me. I'm going to get on to the obvious one here. weather and lack of pollution. I mean, honestly, when you live in a place like Shenzhen, Shenzhen has fairly good air quality compared to a lot of places in China. And so you'll find, you know, foreigners, when it's a blue sky, they'll take a picture like, oh, we live in such a great city. See, it's not bad. China's air quality isn't that bad, you know. But that's stupid, because it is bad, and it's, you know, it's still got bad AQI if you look at the app compared to pretty much anywhere else in the world. But what's even worse about it is it's really bad during the winters and stuff, where it's gray skies and it's polluted and it's awful, and you get depressed. You start to feel depressed. Whereas so far, the time that we've been spending here in the States, I haven't experienced a single polluted day. There've been overcast and rainy days, yes, but so far it's kind of been really good weather, and that's something that changes your life significantly. It has a mental effect on you, you know.
Really? That affect you that much?
Absolutely. I don't like to be
Okay.
stuck in polluted, horrible, you know, gray skies.
The Shenzhen not that much, that's what
Yeah.
I want to say.
It's true, that's what I said. Shenzhen's really good
Yeah.
compared to a lot of places. Okay, so I've got another one here. I'm going to wrap this up fairly soon and start answering questions, but this is kind of the next one that just hit me. Hobbies, okay? Hobbies. I was kind of blown away the first time I came to the States, just to see how there is something for everyone. Oh, Shane, you okay? To see that there's something for everyone, and by that I mean it doesn't matter what your interests are. There are clubs and groups and things to allow you to go and do your hobby. I mean, for instance, if you go in the shopping mall or something, you'll see they have game shops where people can sit and play, you know, D&D or some kind of nerdy board games or whatever they want to do. But the thing is, there is a situation, there is like a facility for people to do this kind of thing. If you want to go, I don't know, skydiving or paragliding or windsurfing, or, you know, obviously if you live on the coast, surfing, or if you want to do skateboarding or rollerblading or off-roading or ATV stuff, if you like to work on computers, if you like vintage computers, whatever, anything you can think of, there is some kind of a facility that allows you to pursue your passion. And there'll be all these conventions, you know, like you'll get, I don't know, RetroCon for retro computer stuff, you'll get SEMA for cars, you know, you'll get every freaking, you can name it, like outboard motors for boats. There'll be an outboard motor show that comes, you know, once a year or something. So whatever it is you're interested in, you can find something. Whereas in China, hobbies are not a priority, and so you do not find an outlet for your hobbies, let's put it that way. And so me being a big car guy, as I'm sure you know, Seamilk and myself are both big car guys. The car culture here is fantastic. I'm so happy to be able to buy a car that I like, work on my own car in my own garage, have access to parts and tools and advice and whatever else, and just kind of get happy and greasy and do what I like to do, because that's something I've missed out on in China, for sure. How about one more thing from you before we go to some questions?
What more thing?
Anything. What else do you notice that's different about living in America?
I don't know. I just continue your topic then.
Mhm.
You know, about the hobby. I just feel like the people here, they know how to have fun. Yeah, because in China, I feel like all my friends or colleagues, they're just too busy with work, and then the rest of the time they were just looking for some good food, delicious food,
Yeah.
and then meeting friends,
Mhm.
that kind of thing. It's quite rare to you know, people will share their hobby and do something together. Only except the, maybe, I don't know, is that the exercise, you know, like the one that
Yeah.
I do all the time, that can be a hobby too.
Yeah, that could be a hobby, I
Okay.
suppose. Working
Okay.
out or doing, it's like doing aerobics.
Okay.
But like when we interviewed that guy, it's not that common. It's only sort of younger women, or sorry, like middle-aged women are doing it a lot these days.
Yeah, like my age.
Yeah,
something like that. Because that need the time, spare
Yeah.
time, and the money as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there are a lot of positive things that I miss about living in China. And, well, number one, cost of living, of course, is a lot cheaper there.
Yeah.
It's incredibly expensive to live here. So I know a lot of you people out there think that we're living the high life and everything, but trust me, we're just scraping by. It's kind of difficult. Things are very expensive here. Rent is, incredible. Healthcare, having to have a baby, it's stupid expensive. It's just, I can't even tell you how freaking expensive it is, but I'm pretty sure those of you who live in the States, especially in California, know. You know what I mean? I have a quick question to answer that I saw there. Is this the end of blogging in China? No, it's not. If you weren't here for the beginning of the stream, we're back and forth. So although we're kind of based out of the USA, we're only here for a couple of months at a time, and then we're back in Asia. So be it Taiwan, China, Hong Kong, Korea, Japan, whatever it is. We've got a whole bunch of stuff lined up. So every time we go out, we do our blogs there and film a bunch of stuff. So you'll be seeing a lot more in China stuff, of course, in the future. Anyway, a couple of other things that are positive that I miss about living in China, of course, the convenience. The fact that labor doesn't cost anything. Okay, so if you get anything fixed, or let's say you have a bicycle and you need to repair the tire, the tube is punctured, you take it into a bicycle repair shop. They'll fix it for you, but they only charge you for the replacement tube, which is very cheap. And that's just because of the large population. They can't afford to charge a lot for labor, because then somebody else will just do it cheaper. So convenience, deliveries, that they'll deliver something at the middle of the night for you for like $1, that kind of thing. What else do you miss?
Well, like I say, the delivery and the speed of the quality.
Yeah, the delivery
and also
service,
the price.
Yeah.
I know America can do like 1 day or 2 day shipping, but
Yeah.
that's expensive, bloody expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no way to compare about that.
Yeah, I mean that they've got the shipping stuff down very well in China. If you can order something on Taobao, which is like eBay, or like Amazon basically, and it can arrive the same day. It can actually, if you order it in the morning, it'll come there by early afternoon. It's happened to me tons of times. So that there are definite pluses. Anyway, it's time to answer some questions here. So I'm going to answer the super chats. Okay, Big Omelets, thank you very much for that. Jeremiah Johnson, buy some more silver bullets on me. He means Coors Light. Yeah, actually, I really want to have a drink. In fact, I had to dig through my dregs. You see, I've got this tiny little bit of tequila left here. I thought I'd drink it with you guys and just to give you a cheers. I mean, there's no particular reason other than I'd like to give you a cheers. And I want to be celebrating Sasha's passing her driver's license, but we'll wait a couple days and then we'll celebrate it together anyway. I've got this funny little teacup looking thing. I think if I do this, I can...
Go like a baijiu. Oh.
It's supposed to have
Yeah.
lemon and salt. Oof. Anyway, wow. Thank you very much, Jeremiah Johnson. That's a cheers to you. Merry Christmas from Phil B. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about this Christmas because it's going to be the first real Christmas here in the States that we're going to be able to celebrate as a family, like a real family. See, we actually I have a daughter now, and her parents are coming to visit for Christmas, so that'll be interesting to have them over here. That'll be their first Christmas too. So there's going to be a lot of eggnog, and there's going to be turkey, and there's going to be all that kind of stuff. And of course, because I missed the last minute, I haven't bought any of this stuff yet, so better do that tomorrow, eh? Thanks, C-Milk.
Thanks, Emil. Thank you.
And one price for everyone in America. Yes, Resort Dog. You are correct. Thank you. MB is Frenchie. Thank you very much for the congratulations, and a Merry Christmas to you too. Anil Rivera says, stay awesome. You too, stay awesome. Razmig Garu Kratlian. Coming from the Middle East and living in the USA currently, I 100% agree with what you said, Winston. Yeah, I think it's up to us, foreigners, like that come to America, to tell... Oh, I do believe that it's up to us to tell Americans what America's like, because they don't understand what their own country's like. Because they like to speak. I find this happens a lot. Politics comes up a lot, and Americans like to speak on behalf of other people all the time. So they're like, oh, it's so difficult for these people or those people. Well, guess what? I'm an African, and I'm here, and I can tell you that it's a wonderful place to be. It's obviously very difficult, and it's expensive, and the rules, and to apply to be legit, paying taxes, and to get the right visa and everything, it took me and Seamilk like over a year and a half to figure this out before I was able to come here. It is difficult, it is tough, but at the same time, people here are fantastic, and everybody's treated equally. All right, next. My phone says, Merry Christmas, Winston and Sasha. Congratulations on the birth of your new child. Congratulations on all of your success. You two absolutely deserve it. All the best, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, CW Pura. Darklit, congratulations. Greetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings from Finland. Well, we're definitely going to be coming up to Finland to do an ADV thing at some point. Benjamin Piera, a fever in a newborn is 100 degrees, etc., etc. Yes, don't you worry.
Thank you.
We've been checking. We've got one of those temperature things. Yeah. And 42 Fab, hey, how's it going, mate? Caught you live. Enjoy another year's Christmas. Dude, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again, hopefully in Oklahoma next time. David M. Oh, wait, missed one. Cares. Thank you. David M. says, congratulations to you and Sasha, and welcome to the US. Diversity is one of our greatest assets in the US. I wish more people would travel and return with your attitude. Yes, I absolutely agree. It is one of those things, and you can't really blame people for it, but when you are living in one society only, you obviously start to think that everything around you is reality, and you start to believe all the negativity, all the nonsense. And it's only when you travel that you get to see what the world is really like. So, the other day I was in an Uber, and the driver was a black American guy, and he was going on about Trump and this and that, and he was really going on about politics. And I kind of pulled him aside and I said, listen, man, I'm a foreigner here, right? The politics here, it's not something that I really have any sway over, right? He's like, yeah, but Africa, this and that. And I was like, do you actually understand that I'm more African than you are? You were born here and you've grown up here. You're American, you're not African. I'm African. I can show you my passport. And we had a good laugh. It actually was quite a good conversation. At the end of it, we walked off being like good friends, and we were able to just talk about life, So once people cut through the bullshit, that's when things can get good. Christopher Ortega, love you guys. Thank you. And how do you say your name? Rui Vasquez, love your content. It has taught me a lot about China, and you don't need to wear a suit always in the US. Well, I tell you what, because I've gotten so fat, it's hard for me to wear all my suits, and I'm trying my best. I'm going to lose this weight. I got to get back in my suits. And to be honest, when I wear a suit here in America, just the same as in China and South Africa, people do treat me with more respect. And it's not the reason why I wear a suit, but it's something that I've noticed. And I feel that if I can be presentable, I'm showing respect to people that I interact with. And I prefer it that way. Okay, oops. Let's see. You have a beautiful little family. Glad y'all are here. Hope to see you in Oklahoma sometime soon. Me too. People talk smack about Oklahoma. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. That's where, my friend who came to stay here.
Oh.
Yeah, he's from Oklahoma. I had a great time in Oklahoma. And I met such interesting people, like the guy who's building that Chinese junk in his backyard, SB Seeker. Super cool. Okay, what are we going here? Thoughts on Andrew Yang? I actually don't know anything about Andrew Yang. Seamilk was talking about him the other day. I know he's something to do with politics, and I know he's Asian. So, sorry. When I'm up to speed on all the politics stuff, I might be able to have an opinion. Merry Christmas. Cheers. Thank you so much, Deacon. And Malcolm, thank you. All right, let's see. Calvin Wayne Weir. You have a beautiful little family. Glad you all are here. Hope to see y'all in Oklahoma sometime soon. I think you did that twice.
Oh.
Or maybe I read that twice. Thanks, mate. Eagle hunting, beautiful family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, it's doing that weird thing where it snaps and I can't. Okay, there we go. Fletchno. Winston, have you held your baby up in the Lion Park pose yet?
Lion King?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you wait. You will wear up.
That's what Simba's supposed to make that noise. Say hi. There we go. And now everybody's got that song stuck in their head, don't they? Right? Okay, cool. Cheers, mate, from your neighbor in Nevada. Thank you very much, Razmig. Thank you very much. And Hoshikani, thank you very much. Teresa Wang just came back from Shenzhen. Thank you for all your helpful videos. Merry Christmas. It's an absolute pleasure, you know. Again, I have been a bit negative of late about, you know, talking about China, but don't forget that I've got hundreds of positive videos too. That's something people tend to forget. I really do care about China very much, and I think China's a fascinating and interesting place. My only problems are with societal ills and, of course, the current ruling party. Okay, Apocalypse Survivor. Congrats, love your channel as well as Who Knows. Awesome.
Thank you.
When are you going to do another Who Knows?
I don't know. Hope maybe when my parents here have some more time.
Yeah, that's true. You have to understand, she's recovering. You know, our daughter's less than a month old, and it's been quite a thing. Okay, Grady Gillis. No questions, mate. Just a donation for the nappy fund or whatever's needed. Thank you. And you know, speaking of that, I mean, you go through nappies like crazy. That's something no one tells you about, really. Just how many you go through, right? We had a virtual baby shower, which my friend Dan Beard set up for me online, and a lot of people contributed to it. I only ever shared it once in a video, but I got to tell you guys that the generosity that you showed towards us has really helped us a lot. No joke. You have prepared us well to raise our daughter well, and you know, myself, Sasha, and of course our daughter are very grateful to you and your generosity, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I do want to get through all these super chats. It's just doing all sorts of nonsense here. Okay, there we go. You guys are great. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much, Brandon James. Jordan Thresso, how are biracial Chinese people treated in China? That's a very good question, and you would think that it would be negative, but it's not. It's actually very positive. Whenever you have a Huanshui, that they call it Huanshui, which means mixed blood, people absolutely adore mixed blood children in China. They get treated very special. People are always staring. People always want to find out, want to look at them. They always say, oh, we'll be pretty and smart, or handsome and smart. It's like the first thing that they'll say every single time.
Yeah.
Bar none. Every single Chinese person will say that to you, 100%.
But that's true.
I guess so, yeah. There are a couple of happers that don't agree on, you know, Asian identity, but yeah. It is true most of the time. You get the strengths from both genetic pools, and it's fantastic. Anyway, they are treated very well, but at the same time they're treated maybe a bit too well. I've seen it go bad where you have a mixed kid in a kindergarten or something, and they get too much attention, and they gain a massive ego, and it actually really damages their personality. I've seen that personally happen. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Congrats on the baby, guys. Also can't wait for the new car channel. Dude, this new car channel is so exciting for Sea Milk and myself. We've been secretly working on it for months. That's it's been tiring, it's been expensive, it's been daunting, but we've really managed to pull something off. She alright?
Yeah, maybe have a bad dream.
Oh yeah, she's kind of half asleep over there. She's actually a pretty good baby most of the time. She likes to keep us awake though.
Not at midnight.
Yeah, it's weird. She sleeps in the day, keeps us up at night. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, about the car channel though, the first episode's done. Anyone who's a patron of mine, or a patron of Sea Milk's, or a patron of Worthless Whips has already gained access to the first channel. And as soon as the channel has reached the required amount of watch hours, so if you really want to help out, you can go to Worthless Whips and just watch the playlist of uploads there, which are just some Q&As cut out of our live streams. Once it reaches the required watch time, then we can actually release our first episode, because we want to. I argued with C-Milk, I want to release it now, but he talked some sense into me, and he's like, you know what, we've spent so much time and money on making this that we have to at least have the channel monetized before we release it. And you know what, he's right. If it wasn't for him, I would just basically be living on charity,
Yeah.
It's true. Hey, Green Veggie Machine, enjoy my silly Canadian money. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, mate. From Chris, congratulations, you two, for your baby girl and sharing a story around China and how taking a step in the US. Welcome and keep on making things awesome. I will. I'm not going to stop making videos with regards to China and adventure and everything else, so don't you worry, just stay tuned. I know there's been a big push to try and shut me up and stop me from making videos, but I never will. Don't worry about it. My phone says, try intermittent fasting, works like a charm. Yeah, I've actually done that before. It does work very well. So I promise you guys I'll lose weight soon. I don't like to be fat. I think it's very uncomfortable. Let's put it that way. Okay, so Dark Side of the Moon. She just wants to let her presence be known, I guess. Dark Side of the Moon is, since you're in California, please come to the Hmong Meow New Year in Fresno, California. It's the largest meow gathering in the entire USA. Now that's a fantastic idea, actually. C-Milk and I went up to like a Little Saigon or something. At some point we went to Little Saigon, and it was awesome to see all the Vietnamese malls and restaurants and stuff. So yeah, we'll be there. Thank you very much, Bazinga. And Wild Effects, have you ever been 4x4 in China? No, but I have been off-road. In fact, I have a video or two. I used to do sort of off-road biking. It was very difficult to do because there is no, like I said, there's just no hobby culture over there. So we actually had to just go out there and find logging trails and do it ourselves and be chased away and all sorts of things. Crashing into, those poachers' nets that they put up to catch birds and stuff was kind of interesting. Okay, Dev Random. What made you choose California to live in and not other states? And Merry Christmas. This is a good question. When I did my road trip in 2016, and I've got this whole playlist on my channel, it's called the Corvette Christmas, where I bought that Corvette, which I still own, and I drove from west to east and back again. I visited most of the states in America, obviously not all of them, but the majority I actually passed through, and I ended up staying obviously at least a day in each one of these states, and I loved it. I found that every state had its own special flavor, but the one that stuck out the most to me, the one that gave me the biggest impression, was California. And that's just because it just happened to be a perfect storm of meeting the right guy, who's a subscriber of mine, Gary. We made a couple videos together. He's a Chinese American, and he was just such a gent, and he was incredibly generous, and he showed me around. And I remember he took me for a breakfast burrito on the seaside, where it was just stunning. So we stopped off and we had a burrito and a coffee, and they're just like surfers walking past, and people just enjoying their life. And I got in that Corvette and I went all the way up and down the PCH during this trip that I did, and just the beauty of the coastline and the laid-back lifestyle and the palm trees, and it's like the movies, right? It's what you see all the time in the movies, and for me it was just stunning, just the atmosphere. And I just found myself really drawn to California. Of course, if I'd known how expensive it was, I probably would have chosen elsewhere, to be honest, but you know what, I'm enjoying it while I'm here. So yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. Okay, DLS 2356, thanks for helping me avoid scams while I was in China. Stay awesome. That's, honestly, I'm very happy to hear that, and that's because I make my videos for that purpose. I had a bad experience once in China where I was scammed by a black taxi. It's the only time I've been scammed in China, and it almost made me hate China. It took me a while to recover from that experience, and I realized that I could spare other people this kind of experience. Because if you visit China and you don't get scammed and you don't get taken advantage of, you'll have a fantastic time and you'll have a very positive image of China, right? But if you go in there and you get scammed immediately when you leave the airport or you leave the train station, you're going to hate the place, right? Imagine you go to Shanghai or Beijing for the first time and you go to the tourist areas and you get approached by people pretending to study English or whatever, and they invite you to go have Chinese tea with them or coffee or something, and you think this is awesome, I'm learning about the culture, and then they scam you out of like $3,000 or something. You're going to hate China. You're going to think China's a piece of shit. And for all intents and purposes, if you are scammed by someone, it is. But if you can avoid the scams, you'll see the positive side of China and have a great time. And that's why I made those videos. So I'm glad it worked. Josema Fernandez Barreras, dude, you're everywhere. What a cool picture. Really happy for you too. Stay awesome. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it. It's the first picture we managed to take as a family together. Talking about, remember we went to the park?
That one? Oh, yeah. I look like shit.
No. I didn't tell her. She always gets upset if I put a picture.
I look terrible.
Okay. If you're in Taiwan early January, we have the silliest election merch. Cute candidate plushies, which might make for an amusing video. That'd be awesome. Even if we're not there, you got to send us some. It'll make a good video. Thank you very much. That's Comrade General. Okay. Guilan Zhao. Wish your family only all the best. Thank you so much. And Joseph Levin. California is the most expensive state in the US. Why did you choose California? I think I've already answered that. Glad to hear you like the US. Always good to hear when a foreigner comes here and likes it. If a foreigner comes to America and doesn't like it, there's probably something wrong with them. Of course, at the same time, people are allowed to dislike things, and there are plenty of things I dislike about America, especially the things like the homeless zombies that you find downtown. They really just, it makes me kind of mad. And there are tons of actual problems, and I will complain about those things, because you should complain about those things. You shouldn't be like, oh, look at that homeless zombie, isn't that nice that he's taking smearing his shit on the sidewalk. You don't do that. You say, look at that guy, that sucks. But it doesn't mean that you hate the place. I think this is a big difference between America and China, is that Americans can understand criticism like that. If I say I don't like a homeless guy wiping his shit on the sidewalk, I think all Americans are going to agree with me. They're not going to say, screw you, get out of America if you don't like it, But in China, if you're like, hey, I don't like this, XYZ, they're all of a sudden, oh, if you don't like China, get out of China, it's just annoying. Just put it that way. Thank you. The Duke of 5A. Love your videos. Welcome to the States and Merry Christmas. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. And Jordan Trusso again. What do you think your social credit scores are? Mine is negative -1 million right now. Okay, we have Millipedic Laferrette. Merry Christmas, many more children.
No more.
I kind of told her 1.
No more.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? But
no more. No way.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Congratulations and welcome to the US. Thank you. And Mike Hurter, very glad to be able to say Merry First American Christmas. Baby R is beautiful. Looking forward to a wonderful 2020. Thank you, mates, and thank you for all your support. You're a massive supporter of us, and we recognize that. Thank you. Alan Bowley says, why did you choose California? Okay, again, wait till you have your first diaper blowout. Okay. Congratulations from the guy who bought you the stroller, Resisting Entropy. Thank you so much, mate. Yeah, that's incredibly useful. You have no idea. And everyone who contributed to that baby shower thing. I didn't set that up. A friend of mine set that up. I felt uncomfortable to ask people to help out. I'm so glad he did, though, because people were so generous and really set us on the right path. Thank you. Jay Etheridge, California is the best. Long Beach has the best good weather days in the world. Fact. I mean, yeah, you cannot fault the weather in California. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. Deacon, Sasha, are you eventually going to get certified to practice medicine in the USA?
I hope so, but maybe not as doctor. It's really quite difficult and expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to try maybe to be a nurse practice here.
Yeah, nurse practitioner.
Yeah, practitioner.
We'll see in the future. It's kind of difficult because it all depends on visa situations and things. So we'll let you know. Darren, welcome to the USA. Please stay. Hope to see you in some cars and coffee. Yes, we're definitely going to do that. You know, C-Milk and I working on all these projects. I have a new car reveal coming soon because I've been told that I need a family car now that we have a daughter, right? So, you know, my Corvette only has 2 seats, so I'm going to be trading it in for something with 4 seats, but that's going to be a surprise. You'll see.
Just ask.
Okay. Congratulations and Merry Christmas. I'm still disappointed that I wasn't able to visit with you at that day at your bike shop in China. Elmo, yeah, man. Us too. Seriously. And Alex Navarro, what's the baby's name? Well, you see, I've got a little issue here. I absolutely love my family, and I love my daughter, and I love my wife. And I have told my patrons what the baby's name is. But I don't really want it to be public knowledge because, and no offense to you, and I absolutely want to share everything with all of my audience. But we have such terrible trolls trying to affect, you know, our lives, and they go to extreme lengths, extreme cowardly lengths, and they've already attacked my parents and my cousins and, you know, random people that have my surname, and they attacked her, and they've tried to get her fired and arrested and stuff, and they would stop at nothing. So they would try their best to interfere in my daughter's life as well. I mean, you've already got people out there trying to label my daughter as an anchor baby and things like that, which is absolute nonsense. So you have to understand there's such a amount of hate and cowardly people out there that would try to harm my daughter that I prefer that her name is not known to the internet. And to be honest, I'm going to be keeping her out of my videos as much as possible. Of course, if you're part of the Patreon family, you'll get updates there from time to time, but just generally on my channel, probably not going to see her again for a very long time. And maybe when she's old enough to decide if she wants to be a part of this, then I'll let her be a part of this. But that's pretty much it. Guys, it's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful to finally reveal to all of you exactly what's going on in my life, and of course to introduce you to my daughter, who I'm over the moon about. And I'm just so happy that I can finally start a family and you know, provide a proper life for my daughter and my wife. And thank you for all of you guys who've been along for the journey. And we've got a long way to go. Still, this journey's only just started, so stick around. There's a lot coming, especially in the new year. So I want to tell each and every one of you out there to enjoy the holidays, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays and all that. And of course, as always,
Stay awesome.
Stay awesome, guys. I'll catch you next week.